So Islam Makhachev has called out Ilia Topuria for a fight at the White House, which is really confusing to me, considering he had no interest in fighting Ilia Topuria at 155, but all of a sudden now he's at 170. He's like, I am open to this fight. Okay, let's make it happen at the White House. Okay, this is kind of ironic coming from the guy who literally said he doesn't want to give the little guys a chance, and we'll play that clip as well. And he's also actively calling out Kamaru Usman. I feel like he's trying to fight anyone but his actual contenders. I've not heard him call out Ian Gary, alright. I've not heard him call out Michael Morales. I've not heard him call out any of the top guys in his division. All I've heard him do is call out Kamaru Usman and now Ilia Topuria, a former featherweight, to come and fight him at welterweight. So we're going to play this clip. We also have a few older clips, saying if you can make 155, then you can, we can do it in the cage. All right, then we have this one where he says he doesn't want to give the little guys a chance, and then we have this one where he wants to fight Kamaru Usman. If you criticize him, you're an Islamophobe, and if you don't criticize him, you're probably MMA Joey. So let's listen to this clip, and then we'll react to the rest of them, because I feel like he's avoiding his contenders. I really do. It's not a good look, in my opinion.
No, in my division, a lot of contenders who deserve the title fight. Just UFC have to give me new target. That's it. I just waiting.
There has been a lot of talk about the potential fight between you and Ilia Topuria. How do you look at that situation?
Yeah, I like this idea. If UFC want, I know a lot of MMA fans want this fight.
No, I mean, we did want it, all right? We don't want it at 170, really. We want it at 155, where it's kind of even playing fields. It was like, if the UFC, he even says there's a lot of contenders right now in my division. But if the UFC wants me to fight Ilia, then obviously I like the idea. I'm going to go for it. This is such different energy from like someone like Volkanovski, where he says like, he's actually actively saying that he wants to fight the most deserving contenders in Movzar and Lerone. He's actually calling out the UFC for favoritism. All right. Yes, he did fight Lopez, but he's actually campaigning for Lerone or Movzar to get the next shot. That is a true champion. Islam's just like, well, there's a lot of contenders, but I like the idea of fighting Ilia Topuria at 170. Of course you do. Even though, when he was moving up to lightweight, you said he needs to prove himself at lightweight first before he gets a title shot. What about a welterweight? Or does that not apply now because you've got like 30 pounds over him? Does that not apply now? Because you have a drastic weight advantage over this guy at welterweight and a size advantage at welterweight. Now he doesn't need to prove himself, but when he was moving up to lightweight, it was, oh, well, he needs to prove himself first. He can't just move up and get an instant title shot. I want to see him fight a contender first. What about welterweight? Is that the same energy? Of course it isn't. Because Islam Makhachev has the most advantage at welterweight, so he doesn't need Tuporia to maybe lose a contenders matchup because he knows he'll beat him at 170. He'll maul him at 170. He will just wrestle fuck him at 170. Different energies for 155 and 170. Really different energies, and we'll get to the videos later. But man, come on.
I'm ready.
What about fight in White House in Washington? Do you thinking about that?
Yeah, also it's one of the arena where I'm gonna fight next. And
Trump says he doesn't want any Russians on the card, so you're probably not going to fight there, Islam. And I'm surprised that you want to fight on the at the White House, considering who Trump aligns himself with over a certain conflict going on in the world right now. I'm surprised that you, of all people, the humble Muslim, wants to actually fight at the White House in front of Donald Trump and all of his elite friends. That really surprises me, to be honest.
And we have the Ramadan month when I'm not gonna training 1 month, and after that I will slowly beginning my training camp, and I will be ready White House or as a other dates. I will be ready.
So he says he likes the idea of fighting Ilia Topuria at the White House, but previously when Ilia Topuria was brought to him as a potential opponent, he shut it down. He said, "I don't want to give chance to the little guys. He needs to prove himself. He needs to fight a contender first before he gets a shot at me." But now it's welterweight Islam, and it's Ilia Topuria maybe moving up 2 weight classes, all right, to fight Islam. Now he's like, you know what? I like this idea. Yeah, this is a good idea now. I'll fight him at welterweight. No problems. But now we'll get into this. So this is what he said. Or Ilia Topuria. All right. As you can see, this is after the Moicano win. This is what he said. We'll play it. We'll react. Kind of crazy. I remember when he said this, and then he fucked off to welterweight. So kind of weird, but anyway.
You said that you're ready to go up a division. There's a tweet from Ilia Topuria that he can go up the weight and he can beat you with no problem. What do you think about that?
Не знаю, еще столько соперников, и все хотят меня там в первом, во втором.
I'll skip it to the end.
They all say they want to finish me in the first or second round. I already said, if you can make 155, you can get into the cage. Let's talk about it then. You said that you're ready.
If you can make 155 and you can get into the cage, we'll talk about it then. Ilia Topuria makes 155, and all of a sudden it's I now want to go up to welterweight. I now want to go up to welterweight. I can get a second belt. If you can make 155, step into the cage, and then we'll talk about it. All right. What's that? Ilia's just made 155. I'll go to welterweight then. I'll go to welterweight then. And then there's this as well from the press conference. UFC 311 press conference. Oh, okay. This is what Islam said about fighting Ilia Topuria.
One guy that keeps talking about you also is Ilia Topuria. Do you have a message for him? He really wants to fight you next year.
So Ilia was really, really calling out Islam Makhachev, really campaigning for this super fight. All right, this unbelievable fight between the two best fighters on the planet. Ilia was calling him out left, right, and center. Islam didn't want any of it, really. And we'll get into his response now, but different energy when it's a welterweight matchup compared to a lightweight matchup is what I've noticed.
No, man. I'm tired to give chance the small guys.
I'm tired of give chance to small guys, unless it's at welterweight, in which case, bring on the small guys. I'm interested. Just completely, like, it's a complete backpedal. It's a complete, like, switch in energy. At lightweight, it was, I don't want to give Ilia Topuria a chance. He's a little guy. Let him fight a contender first. Then we'll see. Now it's welterweight, all right? Now it's, I'd be up for that fight. Of course you would, because you've got the size advantage on him, massively. Of course you would. It's crazy. I don't want to give chance to little guy.
And I'm tired to give chance the small guys. I need my second belt. It's nothing excited. He's a good fighter. He's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance.
I don't want to give him chance. Unless he follows me to welterweight, in which case he can have chance, yes. Basically, what it comes down to is he didn't want to risk losing the lightweight title, all right, against a dangerous opponent in Ilia Topuria, because if he lost that fight, he wouldn't be getting the welterweight matchup for double champ status. He knows that. He knew that. That's why he didn't take the fight. That's why he moved up whenever he could. And you could say, well, Sarukian's a dangerous matchup. All right, yeah, true. But he already beat him in the past. So, less risky. He already knows what Sarukian's like. He's already been in there with Sarukian in the past. All right, Ilia's never been in there with Ilia. Dangerous matchup. He's like, he's saying like, I don't want to give this guy a shot. I don't want to give the little guys a shot. I'm sick of giving shot to little guys. But then he's open for him to move up 2 weight classes to fight him instead. And this is another thing here, all right? So along with Ilia Topuria, he also wants to fight Kamaru Usman because he thinks Kamaru can beat Morales and Prates. That's nice, Islam. Why don't you fucking do it then? If you give me the choice, ask me who I want to fight, I will say Kamaru. Not Ian Gary, not Morales, not Prates, not any of your actual contenders in the top 5. You want to fight number 8 ranked Kamaru Usman, or a featherweight moving up to welterweight. They're your 2 options? Really? Really, Islam? The GOAT of the sport. Cherry-picking opponents. Cherry-picking an old man with no knees. And then cherry-picking. And you can... Cherry-picking Ilia? Yes, at welterweight? Absolutely, that is a cherry pick. Ilia Topuria moving up from featherweight to welterweight, all right, to fight Islam. When Islam's a natural middleweight, he could probably make. Did I say middleweight? Well, he could probably make middleweight and be fine. I reckon. Genuinely, he's a big guy. He made JDM look small in their fight. He looked big at welterweight. He is a natural welterweight. And he wants to fight Ilia Topuria, 5'6" featherweight at welterweight, or an old man with no knees. It's crazy.
And today's the 2 fight did like very well, Moraes and Prates.
Yeah.
But I still thinking Kamaru can beat them both. And Kamaru's the biggest, and they young fighter who like hungry, but Kamaru's still dangerous and one of the best in this game,
1-3 in his last 4, but by the way. 1-3 in his last 4. Beat Joaquin Buckley. Oh, this guy is a dangerous guy, brother. He has 1-3 in his last 4, and he has no knees, brother. Crazy.
Really?
If you give me the choice and ask me who you want to fight, I will take Kamaru, but it's not my job. Anyone, I will be ready. And today,
I love it when they do this. They save themselves at the very end. All right, they leave it out there so they can say, well, actually, no. I said I'd fight anyone. And it's like, well, yeah, kind of you did. But you're also saying that if you had a choice, you would fight Kamaru Usman over your top contenders. You would fight number 8 ranked Kamaru Usman over an Ian Gary, who's at the moment number 2 ranked. Over a Michael Morales, who I believe is number 3 or 4. I think he's number 3 ranked. If you give me a choice, brother, I would pick Usman. Of course you would. Because it's an easy matchup for you. You know it is. He's old. You know, one of the welterweight goats or whatever you want to call him. You know, maybe the welterweight goat. All right. Name-wise, it's a bigger name than Gary, Morales, but blah, blah, blah. But real fans know. They'll know the context. And the context is, this guy is an old man, 1-3 in his last 4. He was a great. He was a great. Right now, not so much. It would be more for your legacy, in my opinion, all right, to defend against an actual ranked in the top 5 dangerous contender rather than Kamaru Usman. It's the same thing as Jones and Stipe. Jones cherry-picked an old man, the GOAT of heavyweight, for name value, rather than actually fighting a contender in Tom Aspinall, who had the belt, the interim belt at the time. Instead of fighting him, he cherry-picked a legend like what Islam's trying to do with Usman, all right, to fight. So he's got a name on his resume rather than like a legitimate, impressive win. It's the same thing. So he wants to fight Usman. He wants to fight Ilia Topuria, moving up 2 weight classes. I have not heard him call out Ian Gary. I have not called him out Michael Morales, Carlos Prates. What does he say? He makes it very vague. Well, whatever the UFC want, brother, that is what they'll do, brother. And then you've got Volkanovski, on the other hand, like I said earlier, calling out the top contenders. I want to fight Movzar. I want to fight Lerone Murphy. I want those guys next. Not this, I'll do whatever the UFC want me to do, mate. It's not up to me. Like, you can still campaign Islam for fighting your top contenders, but you're not. When asked who you want to fight, it's a featherweight or it's Kamaru Usman. And that's the issue. I feel like you're avoiding your top contenders because I'm not hearing you talk about any of them. And when you do, all you're saying is, I think Usman beats them, brother. That's why I want to fight Usman. That's nice. So what? You don't get title shots off of thoughts and who you think's going to win. It's not how it works. All right. Fight your top contenders. Like and subscribe. My links are down below. Become a member, join the Discord. Until next time, I'll see you in a bit.